Hilchis Rotzeich Shmiras Nefesh Perek Chamishi. So until now, the first four parakim, the Rambam discussed the din of a Rotzeich b'mezid. The Rotzeich b'mezid that is chayiv misa. Here, from Perek Hey until Perek Ches, the next four parakim, the Rambam discusses the din of a herig b'shgaga that is chayiv ori miklat. Perek Chamishi. Kol a herig b'shgaga is goyla memdina shaharig ba ori miklat. He goes to Golus. Umitzvahs asay lahagleisei shenamar v'yoshiv ba admei sakein hagadol. So Lashon Rambam sounds like that it's a chiv. That's on Achreinim Hamadayik, that it's a chiv on bezin. It's not the chiv on the goyla. Just like every oynish, there's not the chiv on the person that's makabel the oynish to get malchus. It's a chiv on bezin to administer the malchus. So also b'negei golus, this chiv, this din that the Rotzeich b'shgaga should go to Golus is the chiv on bezin. Bezin has to see to it that the Rotzeich b'shgaga should go to Golus. That's the din on bezin. In the chinuch, the diuk is that it's a chiv also on the goyla. As b'pashtus, it's certainly a chiv on bezin to see to it that he should go to Golus, because we'll see b'hamshach there's a isur le'sikhu kefil l'nefesh Rotzeich. In other words, they shouldn't take kefil l'nefesh Rotzeich and stop seeing to it that he should go to Golus. So basically it means they have to see to it that he should go to Golus, and there's a law of le'sikhu kefil l'nefesh Rotzeich and stop from seeing that he should go to Golus. But besides that, there's also a chiyuv that he should go to Golus. The Rambam doesn't speak about his chiyuv to go to Golus. The Rambam just speaks about their chiyuv to cause him to go to Golus. And in the chinuch, he also talks about his chiyuv to go to Golus. I'll call upon him. V'huzaru bezin, and bezin, there's a lav on bezin, shel yikhu kefir min haritzeach b'shgaga, kedei leisha b'yirei. They shouldn't take kefir, that he should be able to sit in the city, in other words, they have an obligation to see to it that he should go to Golus. And if he's going to offer them money that he should be able to stay be'irei, and they shouldn't see to it that he should go to Golus, so there's a law for them to take this kefir. Shenamar, v'lisikhu kefir lo nusalir miklatu. So you're not allowed to take kefir in order to prevent someone from having to be in his ear miklatu. Halacha beis, eina ritzeach b'shgaga gela, elim kein mes hanereg miyad. Now this is a special din by a herig b'shgaga. By a ritzeach b'mezid we learned that if a person hits someone, and then they were amdul lemisa, so even Lepel he ended up dying a year later. Lepel, the Rotzeich is chayiv misa because Lepel he hit him and eventually he killed him. And again, Rotzeich b'shgaga, there's a special din that it has to be a direct connection that the Rotzeich b'shgaga was the one that killed him and there was no other factors involved in his death. Masha'enken, if he made a chabur in him, he made a chabur in him, and they were amdul lemisa, and Lepel he died as a result of that. But since there may have been other factors involved, L'mashal, the person, there was wind came into the wound, or other factors that came involved. So even though be'emtzem, the Rotzeich was the one that killed him, because ultimately, because of the original Rotzeich, that's why he died. And he would have died anyways, it's just maybe he would have died a minute earlier, a minute later. But Lepel, since there were other factors involved in his death, so there's a special limud that a Rotzeich b'shgaga doesn't go to Ir Miklat unless he was directly, only him was involved in his death. This is the din. Halacha beis. Ein a Rotzeich b'shgaga gela elim kein mes hanereg miyad, unless the victim died right away. Avalum chavel b'shgaga, he hit him. Aval pishamdu lemisa, they assessed that he's going to die. And v'chol, and he became ill, umes, and he taka died. Ein a gela, why? Because Shema hu kiravis misas atzmi. Maybe there was something that he did which causes that he should die a little quicker. Or the wind went into his chabura, and as a result, that is v'haragase, and that's why he died. In other words, it wasn't only ultimately is obviously, if not for the Rotzeich, he wouldn't have died. If not for the Rotzeich, he would have died. And therefore, if the Rotzeich was a Rotzeich b'mezid, he's takachayiv misa, because Lepel, we consider him responsible for this death. But on the other hand, since there was another factor involved, so there's a special din by a herig b'shgaga that he should be directly involved in the misa, and there shouldn't be any other factors involved. Afilu shachet be'kol shnei asimonim, he shechted the shnei asimonim, the two simonim, and which obviously he can't live, and va'omad ma'at, and he was still alive right after the shchita, is eine geil al yodeh, he's not geil al yodeh, and lefichach, imli pirchis klal. Pirchis klal means like he didn't shudder. So when just like on a behemoth when he's geschachten, so there's the behemoth shudders. So it could have been that the pirchis itself caused the misa. Whereas the actual pirkus caused the misa. So that would be also a factor why the person that shechted shouldn't be chayiv misa, because he didn't kill him straight directly. He caused him to be mefarchis, and through that he died. So that would be considered an indirect killing. It's not an indirect killing. It means to say that there was another factor involved. The pirkus also brought about the misa. The ficha. So imle pirkus klal. If lepel he shechted him and there was no pirkus at all. There was no wind over there, so it's not really possible that any wind got into the wound, and as a result of that he died. So in such a case, when we assume that the shechita directly was the one that caused him to die, so then he does go to galus. Mashaik in the case where there was pirkus, or in a case where it was in a place where there was ruach, so b'chiyai gavna, so since there's a chash that it wasn't a direct killing, so then hitaka doesn't go into galus. That's the special din, a special din legabi orim miklat. Halacha gimel, Yisrael shaharag b'shgoga es ha'eved, oyes gerteshav goyles. That's a girsa in Rambam, certainly in the Rambam that the Ravid had, that the Rambam writes that a yid that kills an eved, or no, the pashtus of a yid kills another yid b'shgoga, so he goes to golos. That's pashut. The chiddush is that if he kills an eved knaini, or even if he kills a gerteshav, he also goes to golos. Now on the gerteshav, the fact that if a yid goes to golos for a gerteshav, the Ravid argues, and the time is he doesn't go to golos for a gerteshav. And in Shitas Rambam also, there are those that are goyres that the Rambam doesn't have gerteshav. So nachamol. So a yid that kills another yid or an eved certainly goes to golos. If a yid kills a gerteshav b'shegig, so the Ravid says he doesn't go to golos. And in Shitas Rambam there's a dion whether he goes to golos or not. That's been a yid that kills a yid or an eved or a gerteshav. V'chein ha'eved sheharag b'shgoga as Yisrael is gerteshav, and al derech zeh an eved. So he also goes into Golus. So an Eved goes to Golus, certainly for an Eved and for a Gerteshav as well as a Yid. V'chein, Gerteshav, shaharag as Gerteshav eyes a Eved b'shgoga. If a Gerteshav kills a Gerteshav or an Eved b'shgoga, he also goes to Golus. Shenema l'bnei Yisrael v'lager v'latesha b'teicham. So nachamos. So an Eved goes to Golus for killing an Eved or a Gerteshav, and al derech zeh a gerteshav goes to golus for killing an eved or a gerteshav. Now gerteshav shaharag is Yisrael b'shgoga. If a gerteshav kills a yid b'shgoga, aval b'shu shogag is a rezen nerag. So a gerteshav, since he's a goy, be'etzim is a goy, he's a gerteshav. So male is mitzvah yesei. But on the other end, he's not a yid. So therefore, harehu nerag, for killing a yid b'shgoga is nerag. Adam muid lo'ilam. V'chein gerteshav shaharag gerteshav. So knows that his mistake wasn't that he did it by accident. No, but the accident was that he thought you're allowed to kill him. So then is hareza karav lemezit v'neragolav. So if a gerteshav kills a gerteshav, he's nerag if the shegig was that he thought that mutal hargei. Hail v'nischaven lahargei. The goy shaharig es hagoy b'shgoga is ein arim miklas kiltis eisish nemel b'nei Yisrael. The whole musik of Arim Miklat is only a din by Yisrael, that has nothing to do with Goyim. So a Gerteshav, there is a musik of Arim Miklat for a Gerteshav. A Gerteshav Shahar Gerteshav or a Gerteshav Shahar Eved, so he has an Arim Miklat. If he kills a Yid, there's no Arim Miklat because he gets killed for killing a Yid. Or if he kills a Goy and the Shegig was that he thought the Gerteshav, I'm sorry, not a goy. He killed another Gerteshav, and the shegig was that he thought you're allowed to kill him. So that's also he doesn't go. That's a kar of lemezid, and he's not a golov. So that's this. So nachmal. So the musig of Ir Mikla is for Yisrael, that a Yisrael that killed a Yisrael or killed an Eved and Benegei Gerteshav. There's a dion. Now there's also a Gerteshav. There's also Ir Mikla for an Eved, that an Eved that killed an Eved or he killed a Gerteshav. And al derech zeh there's a miklat for a gerteshav that he killed an eved or a gerteshav. Masha'inkin, if a gerteshav kills a yid, so then he's neragolav even though he killed him a shegig. And if a gerteshav kills another gerteshav, and the shegig was that he thought it's mutal laharge, so he's also nerag. Halachei haben shaharag is aviv b'shgogi gela, v'chein ha'av shaharag is b'nei gela al yodi. So this din makes no difference. In other words, even we're talking about a ben alav of al ben, so there's also the din of golus. B'medvar mamurim that the av that killed his son is chayiv golus ksheharge shlei b'shas limud eshoyim olam di umdes acheres shein tzorich lo, and while he was teaching this umne acheres shein tzorich lo, he killed him. Avalim yisir b'nei kedilam di teira a chochma umnes, something that he needs, not something that ain't tzorich lo, but something that he needs. In other words, the father was either teaching him teira, or was being mechanech teaching him chochma, or even an umnes. Umes is potter. V'chein harav hamakes talmidei ishliach bezn shehikach baldin hanimna milovi ledin, which he has a right to be makim. In other words, this all the point is because he has a right to be makim. Whereas the av has a right to be makkah's b'nei, and the rav has a right to be makkah's talmidei, and the shliach bezn has a right to be makkah the baldin, which is nimna milovi ledin. Ve'imisi b'shgoga is potim in agolus shnam alachtiv eitzim. So when the Torah describes the din of someone killing someone b'shegig, so they say that they went layar lachtiv eitzim. So what's lachtiv eitzim? The divrei harishus. It means they were doing something which wasn't a mitzvah. Yotzo ha'ava makkah's b'nei of harav haredes talmidei shliach bezin sharishogagu v'horgu b'shas aseis hamitzvahs. Because they were doing a mitzvah. They were doing a mitzvah of being makkah's b'nei, or they were doing a mitzvah of being rav haredes talmidei, or doing a mitzvah, the shliach bezin that was being makkah, the person that was nimna from coming to din. Halacha zayin. B'tchila echad shegig v'echad mezid makdimu l'ori miklat. Originally, l'chatchila the seder advarim is if someone kills, so he goes to ori miklat. Ubezn shalei soir shaharag ba shelcher mevi'in esim misham. They bring this ritzeach from the ori miklat. V'donin shenamar v'sholchu ziknu yairei v'lokhu esim misham. They take him from there to be done. Now mishim is chayav misa is memisa nesei. Shenamar v'nosnu esim b'yad geil adam. And misha niftar, someone that's niftar, is pater nesei. Shenamar v'tzilu edas haritzech miyad geil adam. So they paskin that he's not really chayiv misa, and he's also not chayiv golus. So meil is pater nesei. Now mishin is chayiv golus. Someone that was chayiv golus is machzir neselim kemei. Shenamar v'yishivu esei ho'edal ir mikloti. Now lepel outside the ir miklot, he's really in danger of the geil adam. While he was in the ir miklot, the geil adam can't really do anything to him. Masha'in Kain, while he's outside the ir miklat, the geil adam could do something to it. Is halacha ches k'shmishiv v'neisei is meson le'shnei talmidei chacham. Why? Koshema yargenu geil adam b'derech. Now the din is be'emes that the geil adam really shouldn't kill the ritzeach on his way back to the ir miklat. There's no din that really he's not allowed to kill the ritzeach. But lepel, if he did, he's potter. We'll see b'hamshach that once he comes into the ir miklat, and the Ritzeach goes out of the Ir Miklot, so then there's Rishus L'Geil Adam to kill the Ritzeach. But at this point in time, Be'emes, there's no real Rishus for the Geil Adam to go out, to kill the Ritzeach. It's just that if the Geil Adam killed him, so Memela Ein L'Dom, he's not Chayiv Misa. So therefore, the Seder is Meson L'Shnei Talmidei Chacham, Shem Yargenu Geil Adam B'derech, and we want to protect him, and therefore, it's the Girsa V'Eimrim Lahem. Whereas they say, side to the Geil Adam, and side to the people of the Ir Miklot, Al tinagu be'minik sheif chidam, because b'shegig bo ma'aseh liyadei. So maybe they're going like to protect him. So the Talmidei Chacham, maybe the Geil Adam shouldn't kill him, because he's not supposed to kill him. He's not supposed to kill him. Just if he kills him, so he's potter. Like the Ram will say b'hemshech. So maybe in order to protect him, so Bezdin sends back with this Ritzeach, that they paskin that he belongs in the Ir Miklot, they send back with him two people, two Talmidei Chacham, in order to protect him, and to them to talk to the Geil Adam, and also to the people of the Ir Miklot to deal with him not like a Ritzeach, because b'shgoga bol yodei. Ritzeach b'shgoga sheharge Geil Adam chutz l'tchum Ir Miklotei is potter. Shenamer v'lein mishpat mavis lepel. If the Geil Adam kills this Ritzeach outside the Ir Miklot, he's potter. Echad aherge baderech ked mishi yikonos le'ir miklot. Whereas right after he killed him, before he ever reached the Ir Miklot, so if he kills him before he reaches the Ir Miklot, so he's potter. Eshaharge b'chazirasi mashnayim sheshemer meisei, or when Bezdin brought him, and then now he's being returned back with the shnayim sheshemer meisei, and the Geil Adam went and killed him. So either way, the Geil Adam is potter. He's not supposed to kill him, but if he killed him, he's potter. Now nichnas le'ir miklotei. And then v'yotza chutz l'tchuma b'zodin and the Geil Adam went out. I mean, the Rotzeich went out of the Ir Miklat Bezoden. She's Arehiter Atzmi Lemisa. She's like preparing himself. He's saying, "Listen, I was in the Ir Miklat. I'm going out." So he has to know that it's his own risk. Urishus leGeil Adam leharge. Over there is a Rishus leGeil Adam leharge, and the Maharge Kol Adam ein chayav olosh ein lidam. So Kol Adam really shouldn't be killing him, whereas the Rishus is only for the Geil Adam. Is Nachamol. Before he was in the Ir Miklat, after they pascha that he belongs in the Ir Miklat. So lepel if the Geil Adam kills him, he's potter. Vices if another person kills him, he'd be chayiv. Doesn't say, it says only that Geil Adam, if he kills him, he'll be potter. But if another person goes ahead and kills him, he'll be chayiv. And the Geil Adam shouldn't be killing him. Now once he comes to the Ir Miklat, and then he goes out of the Ir Miklat, so he's hiter atzmi lemisa, so then it's Rishus leGeil Adam leharge. And another person, vices, they also still don't have Rishus to kill him, but if they do kill him, so it's ein lidam. So that would be the difference. In other words, before he reached that point where he left so the Geil Adam, it's not, there's no Rishus for the Geil Adam, but the Geil Adam is potter, and other people would be chayiv. And once he left the Ir Miklat, so then it's a Rishus for the Geil Adam, and then other people would be potter. Halacha Yudalef. Yotzach, this is talking about he went out chutz l'tchum Ir Miklati b'mezid. Now Yotzach chutz l'tchum Ir Miklati b'shgoga is kol aherge ben Geil Adam ben Shar Adam is Geil al Yodeh. So there's a chiyuv golus, someone that kills someone that went out b'shegig. So he has like a din of someone that was a herig b'shgoga, he's killing someone that went out of the Ir Miklat b'shegig. So he goes Geil al Yodeh. That's talking about if he went out chutz l'tchum. Now harge b'teich tchum Ir Miklati, afilu Geil Adam is arez nerigolov. He has no right to kill him when he's in the Ir Miklat, and even if he's b'teich tchum, he has no right to kill him. And if he kills him, it's like he's killing a regular person. He's a regular din of a Rotzeich. Halacha Yud Beis HaMizbeach Kelit. The Mizbeach is Kelit. We're talking about a herig b'shgoga. Shnamar b'herig b'zoden me'im mizbechi tekochen elamus. Miklal shaherig b'shgoga ein nerig b'mizbeach. That someone that kills b'shgoga is ein nerig b'mizbeach. Lefichach haherig b'shgoga, someone that killed b'shegig v'kolti mizbeach, and the mizbeach was keletim, and v'harge shom Geil Adam is a nerig olav. Kimisha harge b'teich Ir Miklat, just like we just learned that if the Geil Adam kills him b'teich Ir Miklat, so he's chayiv misa. So al derazeh, if he kills him when the mizbeach is being keletim. Now what's pshat the mizbeach is being kelet? Ein kelet el gag shel mizbeach b'silam bilvat. It has to be, first of all, the gag of the mizbeach, to be on top of the roof of the mizbeach, and it has to be the mizbeach of b'silam of the Beis Hamikdash. And ve'ein kelet ela koyin va'aveda b'yodeh. He has to be a koyin and doing aveda. Avol zor a koyin she'ena eved b'shor shenerag, or she'ya eved v'loi hoya al gag shel mizbeach el samuch le'eches b'karnesim ein niklet. Nachamol. So in order for the Mizbeach to be keletim, he has to be a koyin that's in the middle of the Avodah, and he's on top of Gagish al Mizbeach, and we're talking about a Gagish al Mizbeach b'Beis Yilom. So these pratim, he has to be a koyin and being over the Avodah, and he's on top of Gagish al Mizbeach, and in Beis Yilom. If he's not on the Gag, and if he's not a kain, or if he's a kain, he's not being over the Avodah, and he's not al Gagish al Mizbeach, so all of these things he's not kelet. V'chein, Mi shekolti hamizbeach ein manichan eishen sham. So someone that lepel, he's in a matzav, he's a kohen, which is Eved Aveda, and he's al gagish hamizbeach, so you don't let him remain there in that matzav. Elemesin le'shemrim, umaglan eisir le'ir miglati. So the same matzav, you send him to the ir miklat. But medvar mamurim, that we say all these pratim, that in order for him for the mizbeach to be keletim, he has to be that he's a kohen, he's Eved Aveda, and he's on top of gagish al mizbeach. That's only by mechuyev golus. Someone that's mechuyev golus to save himself from the Geil Adam is all these pratim. Aval mi shepachad min hamelech sheliargenu b'din hamalchus. A person that's in a matziv that the melech, he's afraid that the melech is going to kill him. It's a din hamalchus. A mebezin sheliargu beirosha ubarach mizbeach, and he ran to the mizbeach v'nisvachlei, and he's next to the mizbeach. Afilo hayazar, over here, even if he's a zar, is a reza nitzel. You don't take him away from the mizbeach. Elim kain is chayiv Mrs. Bezin be'edus gemura v'asra. Kishar kol arugi bezin Thomas. So someone that's chayiv Mrs. bezin, whereas the bezin paskin that he's chayiv Misa, so then the fact that he's next to Mizbech is not going to help him. Mashenkin, someone that's not really chayiv Misa, it's only his chayiv Misa b'din HaMelech, or b'din bezin that behirah show, which is ke'en din HaMelech, so then standing next to the Mizbech, even though he's a zor, and he's nismach to the Mizbech, so he's nitzal, and you don't take him away from there, lomus leilam.